In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made some DIY decor to make a dog theme tier tray. And for the first DIY, I'm using some wood cubes to make a sign, and I went ahead and glued all 4 of them together. And now I'm going to paint the whole thing with some white paint. For this sign, I'm going to have it say love with a little paw print for the O. So I used my Cricut to cut out the letters for this, and now I'm just adding them on to each of the blocks for the sign. For the next DIY, I'm going to be making a book stack using one of the Dollar Tree wood crates. So I'm starting by painting the top layer of the book stack with some white paint. The color theme for this tier tray is going to be white, gray, and black. So I'm going in with some light gray paint and painting the middle section of the book stack with this color. And then I'm painting the bottom of the book stack with some black paint. Since this is a dog themed tiered tray, I wanted the book stack to say live, love, bark. So I used my Cricut once again to go ahead and cut out the letters for this. And for the O in love, I once again used a paw print for the O to add an extra cute little touch and make it fit more in with the dog theme. Then I took some of this black and white ribbon and glued this around the left side of the book stack. And then I also tied a bow using the ribbon and glued this onto the top of the book stack. I found this sheet of dog stickers at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use the paw print sticker from this pack. However, since the theme for this pack seems to be sparkly red, I didn't want the red sparkles on the set, so I just went ahead and popped off the paw print since it was on a little sticky square, and then I glued this onto the top of the book sack on the middle of the bow. And here is how the finished book stack turned out. I think it came out super cute. Next up, I'm going to be making a sign, and I'm using one of the wood plaques that I got from Michaels, and I'm painting it white. I wanted to customize something on this tier tray with my dog's name on it, so I decided to do that with this sign here. So first I'm adding on a heart with a paw print, and I'm using some gray vinyl for this since the theme for the tray is white, gray, and black. And then I added on my dog's name, which is Molly, using some black vinyl, and I just placed this on top of the heart and paw print. And here is how the finished sign turned out. I think this is super cute, and you can personalize it with your dog's name or whatever you want it to say. So I found this ceramic dog from Dollar Tree. I think it was over in the home decor section, and I wanted to make it look like my dog, and she is black, so I tried to sand this down so that the paint would stick better, but it didn't really work, so I just decided to paint it anyways, even though the paint wouldn't really stick too well. But I knew I wouldn't really be messing with it too much, so I didn't have to worry too much about the paint rubbing off. So I just went ahead and painted directly onto the ceramic. I know there's probably other methods you could do to make it last longer, but I just painted right on it, and it took a couple coats to get it all on there and make it stick, but it ended up working out. And my dog Molly has a cute little pink collar, so I went ahead and took some light pink paint and just painted this on so that it looked more like my dog. And she is a golden doodle, if any of you were wondering what breed of dog she is. So yeah, I just painted on her cute little pink collar. And she has brown eyes, so I took my dotting tool and some brown paint and went ahead and painted those on. And then I also added on a couple little black accents to give some more detail with the dotting tool as well. As you can tell, I was being too impatient to wait for the brown paint to dry, so I was trying to add the black dots on before that was dry, and as you can see, that wasn't going so well because the paint wasn't sticking, and so make sure you leave your paint to dry before you add on the accents so that it goes on smoother. But anyway, then I took some white paint and added a couple little white dots for some more accents for the eyes. And that is going to finish off this cute little dog statue. And I think it really does look a lot like my dog. For the next DIY, I'm going to be making a little doghouse sign for my tier tray. And I don't have any power tools, so I'm not able to cut wood, so I'm going to use a piece of foam board to make this DIY. And I'm starting out by marking 3 inches for the width of the doghouse, and then I'm going to make a mark at 4 inches in the center, and then I made a mark 2.5 inches up on both sides, and then connected a line between the 4-inch mark and the 2.5-inch mark to make the roof of the doghouse. And I repeated the exact same steps by making it 3 inches wide and then marking it 2.5 inches up for the sides and then connecting the 2.5-inch mark to the 4-inch mark in the center for the roof. And I'm going to cut both of these out using my foam board cutter, and I'm going to stack both of these pieces together to give the doghouse some thickness because this is just 1/4 inch foam board. I'm going to use some popsicle sticks for the sides of the doghouse to cover up the foam board. So I'm taking some black Waverly chalk paint and painting the popsicle sticks, and you don't have to worry about painting the edges because we're going to be cutting off the rounded edge. So just go ahead and paint the center part of the popsicle sticks. And you will need 6 popsicle sticks, so make sure you go ahead and paint 6 of them. And for the door, I am going to use this wood heart as basically a scrap piece of thin wood. So I'm going to go ahead and trace out a door shape on this and then cut that out for the door for my doghouse. And I painted the door of the doghouse black as well. So now it's time to start assembling the doghouse. I somehow lost the footage of me gluing together the two pieces of foam board, but I just hot glued these together. And here I'm taking 2 of the popsicle sticks and cutting them down to size to fit on the sides of the doghouse. And then I'm going to glue those into place. Alright, and next I cut 2 more of the popsicle sticks down to fit on the roof of the doghouse, like so. And so now I'm just going to hot glue these on, and I made it so that they don't hang off the edge because we're going to use the other 2 popsicle sticks to make an edge for the roof. So we're just going to put those on so that it fits exactly to size. And now we're going to use the final 2 popsicle sticks to make the front edge of the roof. So for these 2, you do want to paint one of the rounded edges so that you have a round edge roof if you want, or if you don't want to, you can have it be flat edged, but I wanted it to have that rounded edge. So now I'm going to glue both of those pieces on to go ahead and finish off making this roof. I wanted to paint on a cute little dog bone on the front of the doghouse. So I took a skinny paintbrush and my black Waverly chalk paint and went ahead and painted on a bone shape to the front of the doghouse. And the last thing that I did for this cute little doghouse was use some white paint and painted on a bunch of cute little paw prints all over the door. And I just did these in different sizes and covered the whole door. Alright, and here is a look at how this cute little doghouse turned out. For the last DIY, I of course had to make a beaded garland. So I took some twine with a tassel at the end of it and started stringing on all of my beads. And for the wood beads, I painted them white, gray, and black, the same colors that I have been using throughout the tiered tray, and just strung these all on. Then for the other end of the beaded garland, I'm using a wood tag, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it white. I'm going to use another one of the stickers from the dog themed sticker pack that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm actually going to pop off the sparkly red dog, and I'm going to paint it with some black paint since I don't want the sparkly red color on the tiered tray. So I literally just painted over top of it with some black paint. And then I wanted the My Best Friend to go on the tag, but it didn't fit lengthwise with the dog next to it. So I just went ahead and cut this off. And I'm going to glue it on the bottom of the tag and then glue the dog above it. So I just kind of trimmed this off and made it look the best I could with the scissors and make it look rounded. And then I'm going to set this aside and go ahead and paint the dog so I can add them both onto the wood tag. Alright, and then I just glued the My Best Friend to the bottom of the wood tag and glued the dog above it. And then I went ahead and tied the wood tag to the end of the beaded garland to finish it up. And I really love how the wood tag turned out. I think it helped tie everything together. And here is a look at the finished dog themed tiered tray set that I made. I think it turned out super cute, and I have had this one up for a while now, and I really like how it turned out.